Hello everyone, Sharpeter43 once again bringing you all Game 3 of the pools for the March Madness tournament. So this is our third battle now, and we're currently 0-2 right now because we lost to the previous two opponents that we battled in the last two games. So, and because of how badly I lost those two battles, if I don't win this battle and the next one, like, I don't know, like maybe 3-0 or even 4-0 as well and above, and not to mention if my opponents or whoever's leading in the pools doesn't lose very badly, like within 3-0 or 4-0 range, then I don't make the brackets basically. And I could win these last two battles and it won't even matter if it's not 4-0 or if it's not in the 4-0 range, because everybody else's records I think was pretty good. I don't remember what the records were, but I was definitely super behind because of how badly I lost the first two times. So yeah, but anyways, that's one thing. Now, my opponent for this third battle is actually going to be a very familiar face. It's going to be Route 81 and the New Jersey Brobats. Representing the ICBA for some reason. I could have sworn he was more I could have sworn he would have probably represented the UBL, given that he's in that league and he was in it for 2 seasons, and ICBA he was only in for 1 season. I don't know. But yeah, he's repping the ICBA for some reason, and yeah, we're gonna see if we can actually win against him, because I don't want to lose to a guy who has had the time of his life, honestly, because that would just suck, honestly. But anyway, so this is what we do. This is the team that we brought. This time we bring back the Nido King. Like, we got rid of Heatran because once again the matchup is just not in Heatran's favor. As you can see, there's a Mamoswine which naturally outspeeds it. There's a what's it called? This crabby thingy. I forgot what this thing is called. Like crabby? No, it's not crabby. That's the pre-evolution. I don't remember the name of this thing. Kingler, there we go. That's what its name was. And he has Tyranitar. All these mons just don't match up well with Heatran, so obviously it's not looking very good. But for the Nido King, on the other hand, yeah, it's still kind of debatable. But again, it just matches up better with Nido King than Heatran, obviously. So it's been just shifting between Heatran and Nido King so far, honestly, with these battles. But yeah, so yeah, whereas, okay, so Root, he actually brought the Mamoswine, he brought Kingler, he brought Tyranitar, he brought Infernape, he brought Clefable, he brought Zapdos. The only thing I didn't expect in the ring was the Kingler, just because I had Tangrowth, honestly, and honestly Tangrowth just eats this damn Kingler for breakfast. It's not even funny, but he brought it anyway, so maybe he was trying to throw me off with something, I don't know, or maybe he expected something else, I don't know, maybe he thought I'd bring Armaldo or something, but no, I don't. So this is gonna be the battle. Again, we're gonna hope to win, because yeah, it would actually kind of suck to lose 3 times in a row. I'd be at the bottom of the barrel if I lose to this guy right now. So yeah, but here we go. I'm gonna lead off with Tangrowth. He's gonna lead off with Zapdos. He's gonna go for U-turn, and let me be honest with you, I actually stayed in and went for the Sludge Bomb because I wanted to actually get the poison on this thing. And if he went for Toxic, that was fine with me, honestly, because all I cared about was getting some damage on the Zapdos. It would kind of give me an idea of what set it is as well, and if I get the poison, even better, because then it can help me cripple it. Because most of the time these things only carry Roost and the Fog, but I don't think it gets anything like Heal Bell or Refresh or anything like that. So I think I was perfectly fine right there going for Sludge Bomb. So here he's gonna go for the Clefable, and I'm gonna go for the Sludge Bomb right here, and that's fine with me, honestly, because I get some good damage on the Clefable. And now I'm just going to be able to switch into Nido King. This was actually good for me. In all honesty, I was not predicting the Toxic, actually. I was not predicting Toxic. I think I was actually afraid of him just getting his Stealth Rocks up and then just forcing me to switch out. So I decided, okay, if you're going to get your Rocks up, you're going to give me this free switch into the Nido King right here. And now I can just hit something really hard on his team. So that's exactly what happens right here. I go for the, I think I went for the Ice, or the Stealth Rocks, not the Ice Beam. The Ice Beam is actually after I go for Stealth Rocks right here, actually. I was thinking, you know what, let's just get the Ice Beam off. If he's a defensive variant, I should be able to outspeed it, and I think the hardest thing this thing can hit me with is Hidden Power Ice. So, yeah. But I do outspeed it, which tells me that this thing is, in fact, a defensive variant that can take hits and whatnot. So, I get a nice Ice Beam off right there. It's a 2-hit KO, which is really good for me. However, and thankfully this Hidden Power Fire doesn't, Ice doesn't do too much to my Nido King either. Like, it's not in 2-hit KO range. However, he is in fact gonna predict me to go for another Ice Beam again here, and I am in return decide to actually just think outside the box and actually just go for the Sludge Wave, because I was thinking, you know what if he goes in the Kingler thinking, oh, Ice Beam is gonna resist. I mean, it won't take it very well because his special defense is very, very bad, but he'll still resist and then put me in a bad position because then he'll be able to get a free Crab Hammer off on everything. And I think this thing also gets X's, or so if he predicts me and goes for Swords Dance on the Tangrowth, he X's or that, and boom, I'm gone. And then if he has knockoff for Cofagrigus, yeah, we'd be done for, honestly. We'd get blown the fuck back by this damn Kingler, honestly, if we didn't make this prediction with Sludge Wave, honestly. But thankfully, because we made this prediction, thankfully, we take out this Kingler and have to worry absolutely nothing about it, which is a blessing, in all honesty. But yeah, so now he's gonna send out this Infernape, which is another threat. And by the way, this is his Z user, by the way. This is actually his Z user. Oh yeah, and another thing. This is something I didn't know, actually. But notice how Root also has an Infernape when Scoot already had one. It's because this draft, because this was a draft tournament, by the way. In this draft, supposedly we were allowed to pick literally whatever we wanted. There was no such thing as sniping, I guess, because Root had an Infernape, and so did Scoot, or Zamcro as you want to call it. I don't know, whatever you guys want to call him. But yeah, they both had Infernapes. So I didn't know this at the time, so that's why I picked basically what I picked, honestly, because there were some ones I wanted to try out, but because they were taken, I didn't think I could pick them myself. So I was just like, oh, that's when I realized, oh, so we could draft the mons that have already been drafted. So I don't know, the more you know. But anyways, back to what I was saying about this Infernape. So this Infernape, unlike the last one that I faced in the second battle, obviously the one with Zamcro, this one is actually his Z user. For Root, this Infernape is his Z user. So obviously I didn't know what he could go for. He could go for the straight up what's it called? I forgot what the name of the Z move was called. Infernal Overdrive, there we go. Yeah, Infernal Overdrive, and I didn't want to lose Tangrowth, so I decided to send in Thunders here just to sack it, just because looking at what's left of his team, it doesn't really look like it matches up well against anything anyway. So yeah, I just send in Thunders to sack it. He does go for the Flare Blitz though, and I was thinking, okay, I survive it. Is he gonna now try to go for the Z move, or is he just gonna, you know, go for another Flare Blitz? I decided to risk it right here and just go into Tangrowth now, and I was just like, yeah. He does go for the Flare Blitz again, which is good for me because now he's crippling himself even further. And I decided to go another mile and just go into Cofagrigus because I wanted to see if now would he go for the Z move. But he does not go for it, and I take this very, very well, actually, a lot better than I thought. And thankfully for me, he's also crippling himself even further because he's not revealing the damn Z move on this thing. I don't see leftovers, I don't see Life Orb on this thing, so it has to be a Z user. I don't know what though, like what Z move it is, but this has to be a Z user. Like he has to have a Z move on this. But I don't know. Either way, I think here I try to go for a double switch, I think. Yeah, I switched into Tangrowth right here because I think I just wanted to like send in Tangrowth again just to take another Flare Blitz and just have him go down just to spamming Flare Blitz, but he actually doesn't let that happen and he actually goes into Clefable. And I think I was fine with this, but at the same time I wasn't because he does go for Softball, but I wanted to knock off here and just to get rid of the recovery from leftovers and, you know, limit its ability to recover. Now here I hard switch in the Nidoking because I was thinking, what if he tries to... He could either go for Toxic or Stealth Rocks. He ended up going for the Ice Beam right here, and I was like, okay, I live thankfully. I don't know if this was a roll or not, but if it was, oh well, what are you going to do? So here now I'm just going to go for the Sludge Wave, I think. Yeah, I go for the Sludge Wave, and he decides to sack his Zapdos, which is fine with me. However, here's where he's going to bring in this Mamoswine, and I decided to send out the Thundurus Tea. Yeah, actually sack it because I was actually anticipating an Ice Shard from this thing. However, unfortunately for me, he actually predicts me right here and actually goes for the Stealth Rocks, calling my attempts at switching out Nidoking, knowing that I need it for the Clefable. So what I'm going to do now here is obviously switching the Cofagrigus to take an Ice Shard, even after Rocks. Now here, I decided to just basically stay in to see if I can actually take an Earthquake because I was thinking maybe after leftovers I can take it. But unfortunately he gets a crit, and I don't know if that crit even mattered, but if it did, that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I think luck kind of hits us both ways here anyway, because He does go for Icicle Crash here on my Tangrowth. I deliberately send this thing in because I did invest enough defense on this thing to take at least one Icicle Crash. Hope I don't flinch, then retaliate with Giga Drain, which is super effective against Mamoswine because it's a ground type. So yeah, thankfully he missed though, so my Tangrowth doesn't take any damage. But either way, like even if he did, I get Giga Drain HP back anyways, and if I switch out, I just get Regenerator back, and I'd probably be right there as I am right there in terms of HP right now as you're seeing. So I don't know, maybe it didn't matter though, the miss, but the crit on Earthquake on Cofagrigus maybe might have mattered. I don't know, I could be wrong. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, obviously. I'm definitely open to that. But anyways, so here I think I obviously just switched out. I think here's where I decide to sack the Thunders now to the rocks just to see what he wants to go for. He does go for another Icicle Crash, which is makes me glad I sacked this thing. And now here I get a safe switch in the Sharpedo. He goes for Ice Shard just to get as much damage on the Sharpedo as possible. And I just go for the Liquidation myself without Mega Evolving because I want that speed boost. However, here comes this Infernape, and because I took some prior damage with the Sharpedo, obviously I can't just stay in and hope to take a Mach Punch because I can't take a Mach Punch from that range. You saw how much the other one did? The one from the last battle? It did just about the amount that Sharpedo has left on HP, so obviously I couldn't stay in, obviously. So I decided to just send in Nidoking just to sack it, just to see what he goes for. Maybe he doesn't have Mach Punch, or maybe he tries to over predict and go for Flare Blitz. But as you can see, he does try to go for the Mach Punch right here, and he goes for the Mach Punch once again in my Tangrowth, which was, let me be honest with you, I think at the time I honestly thought he literally just like choked honestly and just went for Mach Punch here. But at the same time, I could see why he would go for Mach Punch here on my Tangrowth, because I sent in Tangrowth here after he took out my, or after I sacked my Nidoking, but he went for Mach Punch nonetheless, which gave me the opportunity to just go for Giga Drain and just take this thing out. He could have gone for Flare Blitz and weakened my Tangrowth here. But I think the reason why he went for Mach Punch was because I think he was predicting me to switch in Sharpedo to sack it, to take a Flare Blitz, and if I survive with Sharpedo, the Infernape goes down and then Sharpedo can just clean up the rest of his team, kind of. That's only depending if he actually sends in Clefable before Tyranitar or not. But as you can see, he just went for Mach Punch, and I just take the Infernape out with Giga Drain, so yeah. But now he's going to send out this Tyranitar, and I honestly was thinking that even though he messed up right there, he could still win with this Tyranitar, because if he has Dragon Dance, just 2 Ice Punches would just do the deal, and it would still be able to outspeed my Sharpedo, and it would be able to outspeed my my Haxorus. Haxorus would, I think, yeah, I don't think it takes a hit honestly from this thing, so I don't know, I could be wrong though, but I wasn't sure I would honestly, so he probably would have taken me out. And if he actually doesn't take me out, I still get like destroyed by the Clefable, I think, honestly, so I don't know. But yeah, so here, thankfully for me, he actually doesn't have Dragon Dance, he actually has Rock Polish, which means my Tangrowth can possibly take a Ice Punch if he has it. So we're gonna find out right now, and I went for Giga Drain here just to get some damage, obviously, and I honestly thought that because of the Sandstorm, raising the Spadef for rock types such as Tyranitar, I honestly thought this Giga Drain wasn't gonna do as much, but it actually does somehow, which is like, holy cranberries. This is actually thankfully a 3-hit KO, which means I can just take this thing out in a couple more hits, assuming I can take these Ice Punches very, very well, because he thankfully did not have Dragon Dance. I was actually afraid of Dragon Dance, honestly. But yeah, he goes for Ice Punch, and as you can see, it doesn't do a whole lot. Like, it honestly did a lot less than I thought, honestly. But I was still afraid of the possibility of getting frozen. You all saw how he missed that Icicle Crash, which is only a 10% chance to miss. He could still get the 10% chance freeze here with Ice Punch if he keeps going for it, obviously. So here I take the Ice Punch, go for Giga Drain, and getting some good HP in the process. And here he goes for one more Ice Punch, and I thankfully do not get frozen, and now I just take out the Tyranitar, which is really, really good, because that's the biggest crisis averted right there. Because here with this Clefable, he could take out my Tangrowth with Ice Beam, sure, but now here comes this part. I send out Haxorus because this Haxorus does have a Roselia Berry, which means I can take a Moonblast from Clefable, and I can get a Swords Dance up, because this is in fact a Swords Dancing Haxorus, because I can outspeed a bunch of his team here, and I didn't need Dragon Dance, honestly, and getting that +2 would just allow me to destroy everything. So here, what I had to do here basically was bank on the fact that he would not go for the Ice Beam and risk the possible 10% chance to freeze, and that he just go for the more powerful move, which is Moonblast, in its stab on Clefable, super effective as well, and that he tries to take me out with that. so that the Roselli Berry procs and I can get the +2 and then just hit it with a poison jab, possibly take it out, and if not, I just finish it off with Sharpedo. And that's exactly what thankfully happens for me. I go for Swords Dance, he thankfully goes for Moonblast and not Ice Beam, and I get the Poison Jab off right here and take out the Clefable, and that's gonna be the whole game. So whew, that battle was really, really rough. It's crazy how these battles with Root have always been this intense, honestly. But it's crazy how when I lose to him, it's always a very, very terrible loss. Actually, that's not true, actually. That is not true. Because we battled like 3 times in the past. I lost very narrowly the first time we battled. Very, very badly the second time. Maybe that's why he's repping the ICBA, actually. Because he, I guess Johnny GB was impressed with how he body bagged me to death or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, he bodied me in the ICBA, and then in the PGL, I beat him 2-0, but it was hella intense, and I had to actually outplay him in order to actually put myself in very, very good positions, honestly. But yeah, and here was no different, obviously. Like here, I once again had to outplay him in several situations, but there was times when it felt like I could have actually lost to, honestly. Like in that part of the Infernape with him going for Flare Blitz, but instead he decided going for Mach Punch and all that stuff. Oh boy, that's just crazy. Like, let me be honest with you, I don't really like battling Root too much because, again, this is a guy that has had the time of his life and I still haven't, so it's kind of annoying to battle people who have had the times of their lives. So losing to him would just be worse for me. But thankfully, again, I was able to beat him, thankfully, here. But I'm getting kind of tired of battling Root, bro. Like, I want to battle people who is not Root. How the hell did he even come to this tournament anyways? I thought he had no connections to TTM anyway in the beginning. But I don't know. What do I know? Maybe, again, it's a tournament where leagues are invited, and if leagues are representing, I mean, it only makes sense that probably Johnny GB told him about Togi Minority, since, by the way, he's also a member of the Togi Minority, so it just makes a whole lot of sense now that I mention it. I'm dumb, but whatever. Anyway, so that's gonna be the whole game, and thank you all for watching the 3rd game of the pools for the March Madness tournament. Stay tuned for the last one that I still have here, and that one's basically gonna decide if whether or not we actually make the bracket or not. But with all that said, I'll catch you guys in the next battle. For now, just take it easy and have a good one.